Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 33, Text 35 to 37. And this is the last verse of this chapter. So, this chapter is entitled as Activities of Kapila. So I will read through 35, 36 and together we will read the one that is written on the board, that is the text 37. Āste yogaṁ samāsthāya sāṅkhyācāryair abhiṣṭutaḥ trayāṇām lokānām upaśāntyai samāhitaḥ. Even now, Kapila Muni is staying there in trance for the deliverance of the conditioned souls in the three worlds, and all the ācāryas or great teachers of the system of Sāṅkhya philosophy are worshipping him. Text 36. Etan nigaditaṁ tāta jat pṛṣṭo tavānagha kapilasya saṁvādo devahūtyāś pāvanaḥ. My dear son, since you have inquired from me, I have answered. O sinless one, the description of Kapila and his mother and their activities are the purest of all pure discourses. So now we came to text 37. Ja idam anusrinoti yaha abhiṣṭutaḥ jo bhidhatte Kapila Muni matam atma yoga guhyam bhagavati kritadhi suparna keta upalabhate bhagavat padarvindam. Ja idam manusrinati jo bhidhatte Kapila Munir matamatma yoga guhyam bhagavati kritadhi suparna keta upalabhate bhagavat padarvindam. Ja idam manusrinati jo bhidhatte Kapila Munir matamatma yoga guhyam bhagavati kritadhi suparna keta upalabhate bhagavat padarvindam. Ja idam manusrinati jo bhidhatte Kapila Munir matamatma yoga guhyam Bhagavati kritadhi suparnaketa Upalabhate bhagavat padarvindam. Mataji's. Yaha, whoever, idam, this, anushrinoti, hears, yah, whoever, abhiṣṭutaḥ, expounds, Kapila Muni, of the sage Kapila, matam, instructions, atma yoga, based on meditation on the Lord, guhyam, confidential, Bhagavati, on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, kritadhi, having fixed his mind, suparnaketo, who has a banner of Garura, upalabhate, achieves, Bhagavat, of the Supreme Lord, Padaravindam, the lotus feet. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The descriptions of the dealings of Kapil Dev and his mother is very confidential, and anyone who hears or reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is carried by Garuda, and he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Please repeat after me. The descriptions of the dealings of Kapila Dev and his mother is very confidential, and anyone who hears or reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is carried by Garuda, and he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The narrations of Kapil Dev and his mother Devahūti is so perfect and transcendental that even if one only hears or reads this description, he achieves the highest perfectional goal of life, for he engages in the loving service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt that Devahūti, who had the Supreme Lord as a son and who followed the instructions of Kapil Dev so nicely, attained the highest perfection of human life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 33rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Activities of Kapil Dev. So in this way ends the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, how many of you are attending the class as a guest today? How many of you just came yesterday or recently? Please raise your hands. I am asking because you will need the background of this verse. Right? So, I will just give the background, tell you the anecdotes or the incidents that took place pertaining to these few chapters of the 3rd canto. This chapter, this story, or this incident, you can say, began when Vidura left home. How many of you know who is Vidura? How many of you do not know who is Vidura? Okay. Vidura, you all know about Dhritarashtra, the father of Duryadhana. Do you all know about Pandu, the father of the 5 Pandavas? So they had a half-brother who is Vidura. They all were actually the children of Vasudev. Through Ambika, Dhritarashtra was born. Through Ambalika, another wife of Vichitravirja, Pandu was born. And through one of the maidservants, Vidura was born. Vidura was actually an incarnation of Dharmaraj, Jamaraj. So you now got the you got the understanding of who is Vidura. Now how many of you know who is Vidura? And how many of still do not know who is Vidura? Raise your hands. Or how many didn't understand what I asked? Okay, I presume you all understood who is Vidura. Vidura was a very wise person. And he was very righteous and he was very upright. And Vidura saw from the beginning that Duryadhana was an evil person. He noticed it even at the time of Duryodhana's birth. Duryodhana, right after his birth, started to bray like an ass. Generally, human children cry when they are born. But Duryodhana was braying like an ass. He was not crying, he was braying. And at that time, all kinds of inauspicious signs became apparent. All the inauspicious signs started to appear. So from that, Vidura could notice, who was a very wise person, that this boy, this child, is going to be the cause of the destruction of the entire family, entire Kuru dynasty. Therefore, he advised Dhritarashtra to discard this child. And his logic was that for the sake of saving a village, or for the sake of saving a family, one member can be sacrificed. For the sake of saving a village, one family can be sacrificed. For the sake of saving a nation, a village can be sacrificed. So, considering that for a higher purpose, a lesser object can be sacrificed. And because he saw that Duryodhana will become the cause of the destruction of the family. But Dhritarashtra was so attached to his newborn child that he could not listen to Vidura's wise advice. And as a result of that, what happened? How many of you know? How many of you are aware of Mahabharata? The episode of the happenings of Mahabharata? How many of you know? Raise your hands. Okay, so most of you. What happened in Mahabharata? And Mahabharata leads to the battle of Kurukshetra. And in the battle of Kurukshetra, not only the Kuru family was destroyed, practically all the Kshatriya families of the planet were destroyed. Because all the Kshatriya warriors took part in the battle and they all died. Just for one person. Now, who is that person? Duryodhana. So when the battle of Kurukshetra became imminent, and Krishna came to try to make peace between these two family members, Pandavas and Kauravas, Dhritarashtra's sons and Pandu's sons. Everybody, many other people tried. Vasudev tried, Maitreya Rishi tried, Gandhari tried, Bhishma tried. But Duryodhana just didn't want to listen to anybody. He was hell-bent on getting into this war. Because he thought in this war, in this battle, he will kill all the Pandavas, and that way he will reign over his kingdom without any impediment, without any hindrance. So finally Krishna came to make peace. Krishna actually told Yudhishthira Maharaj, I know that Duryodhana is not going to listen to me. No, Yudhishthira Maharaj told him, Krishna, you see that he is not listening to anybody. And you will go and speak to him. Try to dissuade him. Because nobody has succeeded. And if you go, he'll probably insult you, so I can't tolerate that. Krishna, please don't go. But Krishna said, look, I also know that Duryodhana won't listen to me. But still I will go, because otherwise people will say that we didn't try hard enough. So that no one can say that we did not try hard enough to prevent this war. That's why I will go. So Krishna went to make peace. And Krishna gave various advices. And finally Krishna even told that you don't have to give them half of your kingdom. Just give them 5 villages. But what was Duryodhana's famous reply? How many of you know that? Duryodhana's famous reply was that without a battle, I am not going to give the size of land that holds the tip of a needle. So he was so adamant. He was so adamant because he thought that he was going to win the battle. Because he saw that his army was larger than Pandava army. Practically double, almost double the size of the Pandava army. Pandavas had 7 Akshauhini, Duryodhana had 11 Akshauhini soldiers. Then in his side there was Bhishma, who was practically immortal. No one can kill Bhishma unless he himself wanted to die. Dronacharya, who was also undefeatable in a battle. Nobody could defeat Dronacharya in a battle. And Dronacharya also had a boon that as long as he has a weapon in his hand, nobody will be able to kill him. Then Karna, the best of the archers. Then Ashwathama, who is also immortal, born in as a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. Ashwathama was an incarnation of Rudra. So these are the people, those who are in the side of the Kauravas. Whereas the Pandavas, their army is so small, and they're just 5 brothers, and they were away for 13 years. For 12 years they were dwelling in the forest, and for 1 year they had to hide their identity so that nobody could recognize them. So they were apparently so weak. So he was confident that he was going to win the battle. So that's why he was so adamant to fight. But Vidura at that time advised Dhritarashtra in that assembly. That Dhritarashtra, all along I had been telling you to get rid of this son of yours. He is just not only a disgrace to the family, he is the destroyer of the family. Still you have time. You please get rid of him. Or you just arrest him and put him in the prison. And make truce with the Pandavas. So Duryodhana became so angry at Vidur at that time that Duryodhana just in that assembly, started to insult Vidura, saying that look at this son of a maidservant, Dasiputra, the son of a maidservant. Look at him. Doesn't have any sense of gratitude. Those who are feeding him, he doesn't have any loyalty to them, because he considered that he was feeding Vidura. Rather, he sides with the enemy and broadcasts on their behalf. So get rid of him. Throw him out of the palace with only his life here as his possession. That means take away everything from him and throw him out. So at that time Vidura just left the palace of the Kauravas in Hastinapur and he went out on a pilgrimage. He started to travel. And he traveled for many years. The battle of Kurukshetra took place. The Kauravas all the Kauravas were annihilated. 100 brothers of Duryadhana was killed by Bhima. Bhima alone killed all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. He took a vow that he would kill all the 100 sons. Therefore nobody else killed them. They left them for Bhima to kill. And then finally he killed Duryodhana. And so the Yudhishthir Maharaj became the king. And Yudhishthir Maharaj reigned for 36 years. And after that, Krishna actually left the planet. The Jadu family was annihilated. Before leaving Krishna made arrangement for the Jadus to leave the planet. Who are the Jadus? Jadus are Krishna's family members. And they were invincible. No one could kill them. Therefore, Krishna actually made arrangement that before he left, they would leave this earth planet and go back to Vaikuntha. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Krishna arranged them. Now no one could kill the Jadus. It was actually Krishna's pastimes. He was winding up his pastime. Therefore, it was arranged that apparently they all got drunk. Jadus got drunk and they started to fight with each other. And they started to fight with what? They started to fight with weeds. Weeds means the water weeds that is hollow inside. You can see how light they are. And they're fighting with that. And fighting with the weeds, they killed each other. So this is Krishna's pastimes. Like, what to speak of weeds, even stronger than weeds, you can consider not sticks, just weeds, which is hollow inside. Water reeds, hollow inside. Not even bamboo. Bamboo also is hollow inside, but it's hard. It's something like even lighter than ganna, sugarcane. Now if somebody beats each other with sugarcane, will they get hurt? No, because sugarcane is so light. Now Jadus, the warriors, Kshatriyas, they're relatives of Krishna. They are so powerful individuals. They died by fighting with each other with wheels. So anyway, so Jadus died, all the Jadus left their bodies and went back to Vaikuntha. And Krishna also left the planet. When Krishna left the planet, then the news reached the Pandavas. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj thought, what's the point in continuing to remain in this planet? Now that Krishna left, there is no need to be here. So Yudhishthira Maharaj left his kingdom and started to walk towards Mahaprasthan, towards the Himalayas. The objective of giving up his body just by walking, Mahaprasthan, great prasthan, great departure. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to leave, then all his 4 other brothers, Bhima, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, also decided to leave. Then Draupadi also wanted to accompany them. So they all left Hastinapur, making Parikshit Maharaj the king. So the core Pandavas left, and the Jadu dynasty, Jadu family was annihilated by fighting with each other. The only person that was alive was Uddhav. Uddhav was Krishna's minister, Krishna's great friend, and Krishna's constant associate. So Uddhav, after Krishna left, Uddhav also started to travel from pilgrimage to pilgrimage and holy places. He went on a pilgrimage of the holy places. So then Vidura met Uddhav at the bottom of Himalayas, at the bank of the Ganges in Haridwar. He met him. So there he got to know that Krishna left the planet and the Jadu family has been completely annihilated. And then he questioned, then Uddhav actually told him that Krishna wanted Vidura to meet Maitreya Rishi. Before he left, he told Uddhav that Vidura should meet Maitreya Rishi. So then Vidura started to search for Maitreya Rishi and he met him in the holy place. And then the discussion took place between Vidura and Maitreya. That is the good part of the 3rd canto, this discussion. This discussion eventually led to these few chapters where the description of Kapila Muni has been given. So this description of Kapila Muni that Maitreya described to Vidura is also very nice. There was a great saintly personality. His name was Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni was performing great austerities the saintly people, especially the Brahmanas, they are generally involved in spiritual activities. They are not so much interested in materialistic way of life. Materialistic way of life means trying to enjoy this world through gratifying one's senses. That is the influence of mode of passion. But those who are influenced by the mode of goodness, they are not so interested in enjoying in this material nature. They rather want to cultivate their spiritual side. This this concept is clear to everybody, that you have two sides, two existence side by side, two types of existence. One is bodily existence, physical existence, and the other is spiritual existence. This body is made of matter, but the body has a soul. Right? Now, those who are influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance, they dwell in the bodily concept of life, which leads to trying to enjoy the senses. Body means senses. And gratifying the senses, one tries to derive joy or pleasure. But those who are situated in the mode of goodness, they are more interested in their spiritual development. Passion leads one to body consciousness, and goodness develops the spiritual consciousness. So the Brahmanas, the saintly personalities, the sages, they are generally in the mode of goodness. You know, the four varnas decided or divided according to the modes of material nature. Guna karma vibhagasaha. So those who are in the mode of goodness, what is their varna? Those who are in the mode of goodness, they are Brahmanas. Those who are in the mode of passion, they are Kshatriyas. Those who are in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance, they are Vaishyas. And those who are in ignorance, they are Sudras. So the general influence of the mode is like that. Mode of goodness creates spiritual awareness. Mode of passion leads to body consciousness. And mode of ignorance is unconsciousness. Mode of ignorance is sleep or losing consciousness, getting drunk. People in the mode of ignorance, they like to lose their consciousness. Like in sleep, we lose our consciousness. Or when people take intoxication, they lose their consciousness. So these activities are the activities due to the mode of ignorance. So, Kardama Muni, he was a great sage, and he was performing austerities for his spiritual development. Now, this happened at the beginning of creation, you can say, at the early stage of creation. The creation began with Lord Brahma. This universe, who is the first created being in the universe? Lord Brahma. And then Brahma had some children. The first four children of Brahma are the four Kumaras. All these children of Brahma came from his mind. Then Brahma had 10 other children. They are the great sages like Pulasta, Pulaha, Kratu, Angira, Morichi, Atri, Daksha, and the youngest one was Narad Muni. So, Brahma also created children from his body. One son came from Brahma from the right hand side of the body. That his name is Manu. And